So question number 2 is a picture based question. The question says Poonam is hit by her husband. The injury is shown in the picture. The husband is booked under IPC 324. True statement is. Now we need to learn to pick up important clinchers in the question. The first clincher in the question is that the injury is shown in the picture. So we need to look at the picture, and the second important is that the husband is booked under IPC 324. Okay. So look at the injury that we see in the picture. This injury is an incised wound. We can say that this injury is an incised wound. So our husband has given an incised wound on her forearm. Her husband is booked under IPC 304. IPC 304 is punishment for simple injury with dangerous weapon. Simple injury with dangerous weapon. Okay, so let's see what is the correct answer in this question. That the punishment will be given for 3 years, it's a grievous hurt, punishment is for 1 year, or punishment is for 7 years. The correct answer in this question is option number A, that the punishment will be for 3 years of imprisonment. Let's see why. To understand this kind of questions, we need to understand few very important IPCs associated with punishment for injuries, or you can say hurt. These are section 319 of IPC, then section 320, 321, 322, 323, 324, 325 and 326. Okay, section 319 is definition of hurt. Section 320 is definition of grievous hurt. Section 321 is definition of voluntarily causing hurt. So automatically 322 becomes definition of voluntarily causing grievous hurt. Remember, GH that I have written in 322 is grievous hurt. Then section 323 is punishment for simple injury. SI is simple injury. Section 323 is punishment for simple injury which is delivered to the victim with non-dangerous weapon. Okay, so automatically 324 becomes punishment for simple injury with dangerous weapon. 325 is punishment for delivering grievous injury voluntarily with non-dangerous weapon. NDW is non-dangerous weapon. And 326 is punishment for grievous injury with dangerous weapon. Okay, so these are very, very important IPCs delivering punishment for hurt. Okay, now if you look at these sections, there is a representation of something called as dangerous weapon and non-dangerous weapon. Now what is this? Remember, all those weapons which are used for cutting, shooting or stabbing. Okay, all weapons used for cutting, stabbing or shooting are labeled as dangerous weapons. On top of it, law says, or the use of which endangers life, the weapon becomes dangerous. Okay, or the use of which endangers life, in that case the weapon becomes dangerous. What does it mean? That any weapon which is used for cutting, stabbing or shooting, so all kind of sharp weapons, all kind of stabbing weapons, all kind of firearms, they are already labeled as dangerous weapons in the code of law. Okay, or by the legal authorities, which means all the blunt weapons are non-dangerous weapons. But on top of it, the law says, if a non-dangerous weapon is used in a way so that the resultant injury because of the use of that non-dangerous weapon, it endangers the life of the victim, in that case the non-dangerous weapon will also be termed as dangerous weapon. What does it mean? It means that if I take a lathi and I hit on somebody's forearm and his forearm bone breaks, this breakage of his forearm bone is not endangering his life. So I have not attacked the person with a dangerous weapon. I have attacked the person with a non-dangerous weapon. But if I use the same lathi on somebody's head and as a result he develops a big intracranial hemorrhage, now his life is endangered. Now lathi will be considered as dangerous weapon only. Okay, but anything which is used for cutting, stabbing or shooting, all of them per se are labeled as dangerous weapon. Now if we come back to our question, what do we see? That in the question, the female is attacked by a sharp cutting weapon because the resultant injury is an incise wound on her forearm. Okay, now incise wound on a forearm is a simple injury, it's not a grievous injury. Okay, and that incise wound on a forearm is delivered by a sharp cutting weapon, and sharp cutting weapons are labeled as dangerous weapon. So the combination is simple injury with dangerous weapon. If we look back to our discussion that we just had, simple injury with dangerous weapon are punishable under section 324 IPC, where the punishment is 3 years of imprisonment. So different sections has different punishment. Simple injury, dangerous weapon, section 324, punishable for 3 years. Simple injury, non-dangerous weapon, punishable for 1 year of imprisonment only. Grievous injury, non-dangerous weapon, 7 years of imprisonment, and grievous injury, dangerous weapon, 10 years of imprisonment. So you can say 3 years of imprisonment has been escalated if the usage of the weapon is dangerous in nature. Okay, so that was the question. Swasti is asking, will IPC 304 be at play or 324? I think you are actually talking about this question itself, Swasti, and IPC 304 will not be at play because IPC 304 is culpable homicide not amounting to murder. Culpable homicide means that a person is dead. In this scenario, in the question it is nowhere written that Poonam is dead. Poonam is alive. She only has been assaulted by her husband. Okay.